Hey everybody, welcome to another recap chat here. We're doing this time 90 Day Fiance, where we talk here on our platform, Faith, Love, and Trends. 90 Day Fiance is a reality show that follows couples, one from the US, the other from another country. We follow their ups and downs in their relationship. We follow the long distance issues, language barriers, cultural boundaries, and the whole legal system when it comes to getting that K1 visa and becoming a citizen. All of that has to be done and connected with the marriage. This is 90 Day Fiance. All right, let's get into these couples. Amani, Matt, and Ani. We'll start with them. It's time to meet the parents. Time to meet Ani's family. Sadly, I believe her parents passed away. They're going to Guadalajara. And she said, meeting the family is going to be a big D. And she used the wrong D word, but that was kind of a funny moment. She needs to learn a little bit more of her English. But again, sadly, her parents have both passed on. And her aunt is her family, as well as her brother. So I think that's her real brother. So they're looking for gifts for the family. Guess trying to butter them up and soften the blow that they're actually a throuple couple. We find out that the family again is pretty religious, especially the aunt. So what is the plan? I don't know if they have one, but I know that Amani is quite nervous. I'm sure that they all are. But she understands, due to her own culture, how if you have a religious background, that family members won't really relate or connect to the fact you're doing something outside of the box, such as a throuple. Honestly, I think most people are gonna not even. I'm gonna say they're gonna have questions about it. I don't think everybody's gonna thumbs up this, whether you're religious or not. So, as they're about to enter, one of the first things we see is Jesus' cross hanging up on the wall at Auntie's house. So that makes us feel either convicted. Hopefully, we don't hear, or Jesus doesn't hear all of the throupley stuff that these people are doing. We either feel convicted or guilty, or say, "Uh-oh, Jesus, look at this. You might have to do some saving." I don't know what you'll think, but the cross was a nice touch as they walk into the house. And they have a warm welcome she has a warm welcome from her family who she hasn't seen in a bit. They're kind of choked up. Then they do their introductions, in which they introduce themselves as a throuple. Basically, Ani does all of the introductions, / Brenda. And the family's pretty much shook. You can see it in their faces. They're like, what is happening right now, right? And the auntie says, son tres? And that really got me because I know trace means three. She's like, son tres? And I was like, wow. They're shook, right? She says, in our religion, you can't, marry, you can't have a three-way marriage. And actually, in the world, you technically can't have a three-way marriage. That's why Matt and Amani have to divorce each other. So she explains that to them. The brother says he doesn't really get what's going on, but he's going to be accepting of her and what she's choosing to do. The aunt, it takes a little bit more time, but she reluctantly gives her blessing, and she says she sees the love that they have for each other. And they all kind of hug and celebrate. But the way she hugs her brother for the second time, both hugs were really passionate. I'm like, is this your real natural brother here? I've never seen siblings hug that passionately or for that long. But I know they've been through a lot. I believe they both lost their parents, so I'm sure they have some type of a bond. But to me, the way she was hugging her brother, I don't think she even hugged Matt and Amani that way this whole time. I'm just saying, it was very long, emotional hug. I'll say just a long emotional hug. I don't know. I mean, whenever it comes to Ani, it's a little tricky. Whenever it comes to the three of them, it's a little tricky. Don't really know what they're into. Not trying to overjudge or judge them in that way, but uh, the hug was long. The hug was long for two siblings. All right, let's get off of that hug and go on to Sean, Aaliyah, and the big dog. Now, when we first open up with this part for this couple, the big dog is in the bed. He's just jumping on everyone, loving and hugging. And Sean seems to be cool with it. Aaliyah's kind of a little bit like it's a bit too much. But when I saw how big that dog was, I was like, I don't think I can have the dog that big stepping on me, waking me up in the morning. The dog is a big dog. It's like a big person. And I don't think I could wake up to that. I just noticed how big that dog was. That dog was too big. But it's their wedding day. And they decided, well, Aaliyah decided to finally sign that prenup. Like, I have a surprise for you. It's something for you. And presents it to Sean. Say, well, it's not signed yet. Well, Aaliyah's going to sign it right now. So the prenup is getting signed. And she says, hope you never need to use this. And Sean jokes, I'm going to frame it over the bed when we get home. Now, Sean is doing mom's hair, tells mom that yes, they are having the wedding, the prenup was signed and all of that. Jackie, their mutual friend arrives, I think more of a friend to Aaliyah than Sean. And she's supposed to be helping Aaliyah get ready for the big day. Sean is really stuck on the time and itinerary. He's like listing off definitely when things have to happen and take place. I know, I guess if you're paying for the wedding and all of that and you're financially responsible, you're going to want to get the most out of each moment and each part of this event. Aaliyah gets to go off to another location to prepare and get ready. It's like a total house. I assume it's like an Airbnb house, but it was a beautiful house. And I was thinking later on this too, because another couple rented a house out. I'm like, these houses are so nice. You guys could have had the wedding at the houses, depending on how many people come through. So we get to see Aaliyah's wig, and Aaliyah kind of tells us how the wig install is gonna go. But the time is ticking. Oops, mom had an emergency. At 85, she may have broken her hip. She slipped and fell, and Sean is worried about her, but he's still on his way to the venue. Now, he did put her foot up and put ice on her ankle, and she said she was going to be okay, but he didn't totally leave her in a lurch, guys, to go to the wedding. But in the meantime, we get to see the hair install for Aaliyah. Aaliyah's actually installing the hair. I mean, we're seeing a lot. I mean, again, we say TLC is a channel that has way too many relationship reality shows. And what am I learning here? Well, you're learning how to install hair if you want to do that. There's little tidbits and things that you'll learn on this show that you may not even think you needed. But if you need it or not, you're learning it. So Aaliyah's like, hey, I need 2 more hours. In the meantime, then we hear that Sean is sending Stacy to get his mom who's injured. And mom is really like, I'm not missing this for anything. Mom is not down and out. She's ready to still go and not miss this event for her son. So we see this whole countdown taking place as they're both preparing for this big day. It feels like the show 24 where we count down to the minutes to see what's gonna, is the timeline gonna be met? The wedding should be starting at 4:30. Sean and the dog get outfitted. They're at the venue. He did a lot of work because he not only had to outfit himself, but the dog. Aaliyah only has to outfit herself, but it's 104 degrees. Weather there is crazy. It's hot. Mom made it. So this seems like one of the worst days to get married. I'm sorry, with the heat. Sadly, mom slipped, but she's going to be okay. And like I said, she made it to the venue even before Aaliyah. And she went through a slip and fall. I know. The bride is allowed to be late. It's 1 hour late. And Leah's still not there. So Sean's pretty much upset at this point. He's probably been standing up there for an hour just waiting. We get to see Aaliyah's dress. Aaliyah's dress is revealed, and it is too revealing to me. It's like a totally nude dress with like a patch here and there, and to just cover up maybe the goodie bits. I don't know, but I don't like the dress. It's too see-through. I mean, where is the structure to the dress? I mostly see nothing. Basically, it's like a see-through mesh covering Aaliyah, and it's like some feathery thing like in the lower part to cover the private bits, and that's really about it. Like, it's a little lacy and little white things, and it's like lacy at the bottom. But who did this dress anyway? I don't like it. The guests are melting and they're disgusted. Time has continued to tick, and Sean pretty much looks like he's done. And as he's trying to leave, it looks like Aaliyah arrived quite late, because he has a whole thing about the wedding ceremony, the cocktail hour, then the food, and everything is just off. And even though it looks like Aaliyah arrived, I'm not sure if that happened in the preview for next time or it happened in this show. I got kind of mixed up with that timeline. It's a crazy timeline with this whole wedding anyway. But it looks like he's still gonna leave even after Aaliyah shows up. She's not even all the way down to the area where they're supposed to be having the wedding. She's like up these stairs or something with their friend Jackie, but he's like, you know what, I'm done. And we'll see next time, but I'm pretty sure Sean is not done. He's being a little bit overly dramatic, even though I'm sure that he has good reason, because I'm sure he probably been waiting like 3 hours. We knew Aaliyah was late, and he said, you're not going to be late, are you? And Aaliyah's like, no, I've counted and mapped out the time, but no, Aaliyah was late and severely late. I could see an hour late. I've heard of that. But beyond an hour, it's pretty excessive, and people are going to want to leave. All right, now let's go to Sarper and Shekinah, where they enjoy a little coffee in bed. And Shekinah brings him the coffee. Then she gets back in the bed and they start to chat about everything that went down and went wrong the other day. Sarper and the prenup. He's still upset about it. He said, why would you do this to me? Do you think we'll be divorced? This is an insult to me and my culture. And she again reiterates, no, it's just to protect myself and my daughter. Like, what if you cheat on me? He's like, well, he's letting us know that in his culture, if you get married, what's mine is yours, etc. So he goes out to talk to his family on FaceTime a whole about the prenup, and he tells them about the fact that he wanted to add the clause in about the weight. If she goes over 128, then she owes him $1,000 per pound. The family kind of laughs it off and says, oh, well, that's some good incentive not to gain weight. Then they begin to get concerned and reference Sarper's last marriage and how he kind of distanced himself after that marriage failed. And he's hoping that, well, they're hoping that he doesn't repeat that when it comes to Shekinah. And he was talking about the first marriage and how everything was good, then she changed up on him. So the family, it says, you know, they're here for him and just keep them posted on what's going on. But they're here for him. They've got his back through FaceTime, through just family love, etc. So it's only days before they're supposed to get married now, and the prenup thing was brought up. Okay, suddenly now Sarper's missing. They're supposed to be getting married tomorrow. He's super angry because he was trying to clean up the coffee and drop the grinds going down the stairs. Yeah, that's why he disappeared. No, I think it's a little bit more than that. She's nervous. I think he's nervous about this whole even getting married thing. They're supposed to be headed to the venue right now, and he's missing. She has an air tag on him to so-called track his keys. And she said she did that because he wouldn't share his location, which she thought was fishy that someone wouldn't want to share their location with you. Um, the production team knows this information now. They actually find him first through this air tag situation. And when the producers get there, he said he needs alone time. And he tells that again to Shekinah when she arrives, and he needed to clear his mind. And he said, I need to figure out what I want. And he's like, looking like a deer in headlights, like, hey, Shekinah, are you scared? I'm scared. Is he scared of marriage? It looks like he very well may be. And Shekinah's like, come on now. I'm not really surprised that Sarper's doing these last minute things, but she did a last minute thing talking about the prenup. When it comes to the air tag, that became a whole big deal that she doesn't trust him and she has to sneak things onto him to see his location. I think it's a bit fishy not to want to share your location, but I shouldn't have to share my location on a device. They're like in their 40s. I don't know if they're as old school as me, but in your 40s, I mean, it's like we didn't even have cell phones or any of that stuff early on growing up anyway. And so the fact that we say, hey, I'm going down to the street to get some coffee, that's all we had to say. Now we have to have air tags on each other and have tracking devices. If you can't take my word for it, should you even be marrying me if I have to share my location all the time? If you can't trust that, I mean, for Shekinah has a lot of trust issues with him. So why does she want to marry somebody that she has trust issues with, she's not sure about? I mean, it's a problem. So I wonder myself if they're even going to make it down the aisle. What do you guys think? All right, now we have Jess and Juan. Their wedding is in a couple of days. They go to a rental house in Colorado with the kids. He has some people coming from Spain and New York. His cousin's back. He said this is going to be a special time with family. This is going to be a good time. We find out that his parents also passed away and they won't be there, but his uncle and aunt are there. Jess, she's happy and enjoying the family, but she does a toast and she uses the wrong Spanish word, and I think one of the relatives corrects her. The wedding day is coming and it's actually here, and that wedding day is full of snow. I don't know if it's the actual wedding day, maybe the day before. Anyway, the cousin, the aunt, and uncle, they haven't seen each other in years, so when his cousin arrives again, it's a heartfelt, heartwarming moment. He finally feels like his country and his people will be represented in this wedding now. There's not much food in the house. I think it's the next morning. So the guys, the Juan and his cousin go shopping. So while they're out, of course, this is their time to talk and dish about everything. And he brings up the issue of Jess not knowing Spanish very well. And he doesn't want to lose his culture, basically. The cousin says, well, you need to find a way to integrate it in because that's what he did in his relationship. But he said his situation was different because his partner, I think, already may have spoken Spanish or something like that previously. Now he's saying he won't marry her without the Spanish. And he has a one-on-one talk with her. They're both wearing white. They go outside in the cold. Why? You guys should put a coat on. Anyway, she says she didn't realize how much he wanted his culture and all of this integrated into their lifestyle because it was not really a conversation that they had previously. Again, he pulls her about it, and she said, well, I've been so busy trying to do all these things alone, and you've just recently got here. So now that you're here, I have more time to do this. He's like, well, basically, you're trying to say you had no time for my culture. All these excuses and all of that is not cool. So then she feels blindsided by him coming out with this out of nowhere. And she's like, well, so is the Spanish going to make or break our relationship? Are you all going to call the wedding off if I don't know the Spanish? So that's kind of how they ended at that moment. Of course, he's not going to call the wedding off. They're going to still get married. I mean, she's not going to learn Spanish in a day. You can't download it into her head. You get one of those apps, Duolingo, or I forgot the other one. Everyone used to refer to Rosetta Stone. That one, like, she's not going to know it all in a day. I mean, all she can say is, "I'll do my best to learn." She can't really do anything beyond that before you guys get married. So, I mean, I don't know why he's making such a hard line. I just feel like they just want a story plot to further to have some type of conflict in their relationship, because they really don't have much. All right, let's head to Mark and Mina. The sisters are in the kitchen. That's Mina and her sister, and they're complaining about American food and the breads. It's like, this is the bread we use, just work with it. You're like, no, I don't like this food, I don't like this bread, it's not like France. Of course, we know French food is magnifique. I don't know the language for it, but yes, we know how exquisite French food is supposed to be, though I never had any. But I'm pretty sure the baguettes and stuff are delicious. And she's like, well, Mina's like, the baguettes here aren't the same as our French baguettes. So bad American food. She's really thinking about Clayton and his arrival. She's been obsessing over. She's been trying not to do so. She's kind of nervous because he's organizing the whole wedding, and they're off to go visit the venue. In the meantime, she's still waiting to hear if Clayton can come or not. It's a beautiful outdoor space where they're going to be having the wedding. Mark is really going to be doing it up for this wedding. You know, he's Mr. Pilot. I'm sure he's got that pilot paper. And when they arrive and they meet the bridal coordinator or the wedding coordinator, she says hi. You know, she is, what's that word? She's cordial, I'll say, to Mina, but you know, Mark gives her a kiss on the cheek. I'm like, how did you guys get so tight? Is she giving you some extras or something? What is with this kiss? I don't know, it seems like he was extra comfy with this coordinator lady. And she doesn't really look like his type, but I just guess he just likes to kiss women. Anyway, they have to go settle the bill, and as she does so, they're waiting for the word on Clayton, and they're just going over the bill and how much is due. And so she has to step away when she gets the call, and her friend informs her that sadly Clayton can't come. He packed, and he doesn't even know yet that he can't come. So after she gets the news, I thought she was gonna go off, but she silently sobs. She's very much French, very much classy. She's not gonna yell. She's not American. No, I'm joking. She silently sobs about the situation, and it does seem sad, especially because he doesn't even know, and I think she's gonna have to break the news to him. And when she gets in to talk back with Mark, I don't think the bridal lady knows what to do. She kind of walks away. I think she's trying to get her tissues, but she breaks the news, and she says, I won't marry you. I can't marry without him being here. And that's kind of how it ends, but you know she's gonna marry the guy. I'm just saying, she's gonna marry Mark. And the previews let us know that she's gonna have to break the news to her son. And I feel bad for him because, especially if I packed all my stuff and I'm excited to go do something, and I'm gonna be back with my parent that hasn't been there for a while. So I do feel bad for Clayton, but I know they're gonna find a way to work this out. I mean, Mark and his pilot money, it's not gonna fail, but he still may not be able to get to that wedding. But I think he's gonna have a great life in the U.S. once he gets here. That's my thoughts. Joan and Greg, Greg rented a house for a couple days before the wedding, prepping for the wedding rehearsal. Looks like they're having one of those rehearsal dinners or something, or is it just a celebration dinner before the wedding? Everybody's renting these houses, and the houses look so good. I'm like, why don't you guys just get married in the house? I bet you would save money besides getting a whole venue. And I feel like it's kind of chic to do something like that instead of doing the regular wedding venue thing. But if you're going to have a big wedding, you're going to need more than a house. I get it. But it seems kind of cool and chic to do something like that in a nice Airbnb. Anyway, talking about kids one day, that gets a part of their conversation. Sorry, guys. And Joan, he said she's probably gonna be a strict mom one day. She's like, "Yes, I will be a strict mother." Um, he's going to surprise her with some Nigerian outfits and African food. For at this beautiful house they've rented, just kind of to bring a little bit home to her since her family can't attend the wedding. He couldn't find Ugandan clothing, so he was able to find some Nigerian clothing. It was some nice fits, and Joan was very impressed. He also knows her size. I'm impressed by that as well. Mom prefers the traditional suit for her son when she sees him at the dinner, but she says Joan looked great, and she's, whatever makes her son happy. If Joan's happy, then he's happy, then she's happy, kind of like that. But she prefers her son to wear a regular suit. Lucille's digging through the African food with all these questions. Like, all right, Mom, enough with the questions. Just eat. Complete Jersey, New York vibe. I'm loving that. But yeah, Mom's to me being a little bit picky, but I think people are just used to what they're used to. So he's telling the friends, kind of making a little toast around the room, thanking the friends for their support and everything. But he has one more surprise. So they all go outside, and some African musicians and dancers come out and start dancing. Joan loved it. She was starting to dance too. She missed her family, but she felt all the love from everyone that was there. And she is sure now that Greg is her man. All right, so it's the wedding day. She's going to the salon, and Greg is back at the house, and he realizes he messed up something so bad. And I thought it was the end of the world. Did you lose your job, Greg? What happened? No, what happened was the arrival time and the time that the wedding starts is the same on the invite. So as people are coming in, she's supposed to be walking down the aisle. I mean, can't they push that back a little bit in the wedding venue? I mean, honestly, does it really have to be that serious? Joan seems to be a pretty punctual person to me. I think that they could shave maybe 20 minutes, or I don't know. How long does it take people to arrive at a wedding? Depending on how many. I don't know, but I feel like that could be worked out. But he's acting like it's the end of the world. So Mom's like, all right, we don't want people walking in as she's walking down the aisle. That kind of messes up the whole vibe. So I think she's making calls for him, trying to fix this scenario and situation. And now he's like, I'm questioning everything. Am I going to be the man she needs? If I mess this up, how could I do this? Again, too much drama for really. And again, like I said, brides are always late. I mean, honestly, I'm pretty sure they're not expecting her to walk right out at that time. But I also understand if you have a wedding venue, everything is timed out, just as Sean's wedding was, and he was really like a stickler for time. So financially, I can see how it could be an issue. But like I said, usually the bride can be up to an hour after the wedding's supposed to start. She's coming down the aisle, and I think that is perfectly fine. But again, if you don't have the clearance when it comes to the finance part, and you didn't let the venue know, and it becomes a big drama, then I understand how that could be an issue. Pay for an extra hour, maybe that's all you need to do. I don't know. We can't push the wedding back an hour as far as her coming down the aisle. I mean, everybody will still be arriving. Doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me. But anyway, it was a decent episode. And we're going to talk more about faith, love, and trends right here on CBiz Media. This is Irene. We'll talk again next time. 90 Day, Never Ever Mets, Caught in the Act. We got multiple things that we've been kind of juggling around. And we'll see what's hot, and we'll try to drop it like it's hot. But drop it like it's hot in the comments if you want to see or hear me talk about certain things, or if you want to even come on and talk about it with me. The door is open for that as well. Email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. You can also hit my website at cbiztvmedia.com. to check us out on our other platforms as well. I'll talk to you again next time. All the best. God bless.